Hello and welcome to an Everquest guide for an 85 Paladin. So let's go ahead and get started with this, right? There's not going to be much action here, it's just me talking about the class and the character and whatnot. So this is Holdridge from my Holdridge series. He has hit 85, and yeah, I gotta say that he is he's pretty tough. So let's kind of go into it here. We're going to go by, spells. We're going to go through AAs. We're going to talk about, how I do some things. This is all, applicable to a heroic level 85 character. And you could probably take the same concepts to a heroic 100 character at the same time. But this is how I play. So if there is a, more experienced paladin out there in the, that can, give some feedback, that would be great. All right, so spell-wise, we got a bunch going on here. We got Charge of Honor, and then let's go with these ones first, right? Let's just start with Charge of Honor. This, I like to use this pretty much on every mob. As you can see here, it gives confronts your target with an honorable purpose and instantly increasing their hatred for you by 904 for 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds, so it's like a dot that is, here, make sure key maps are off, so it's like a dot almost that gives me hate. See, it just goes onto that combat dummy there. It lasts for 30 seconds plus whatever my gear extends it, right? And then I get that every second, plus I get this buff here. Absorbs 10% of incoming damage up to 875. Now, 875 at 85 is not a lot, but it kind of takes the edge off, if you will, on a otherwise huge hit. So, always doing that, and I have that in, I have that in my spam button here. So, I'm multi-box, so, your key subs will change. But I'm always hitting 2, I'm always hitting 3, and I'm always hitting 4, right? And 2 just happens to have Taunt, and it has Charge of Honor. I don't believe I have it in... Yeah, I also have it in my stuns button too. So I try to cast... It has like an almost no downtime, right? Like I can recast it 1 second, 1 or 2 seconds later. So it's, kind of keep that on. You want to keep that on whatever your main target is. Every 30 seconds, you could probably get it on multiple targets, like what level is that, 100? Yeah, so I can keep it on 2 targets at the same time without much issue. Maybe more, but if you're taking more than one, you want to do that. And then let's go into stuns here. So I got a lot of stuns, and the stuns is like one of the ways I kind of control mobs. I get aggro. And they're very important to the class overall. So these are the spell stuns I currently have memorized: Devout Force, Force of Crying Seas, Glorious Vindication, and Lesser Compungiation. So you can see these kind of like, 88 is kind of like the highest I can stun right now. This one doesn't have anything, but this one's not really a stun as much as a direct damage spell that reflects healing twin cast back upon the caster, right? So this is not as much of a stun as more or less something I cast constantly, right? Cast that. There we go. We get healing twin cast for 22 seconds, and then we can go here and cast a heal. Kind of annoying because he doesn't have a target, right? So since the training dummy doesn't have a target, I can't actually use that, but I guess target myself like that. There we go, and I healing twin cast myself, but it's not going to show anything because I didn't heal anything. But I just cast it with the stuns anyway. It's just another spell in the list, and then I have a macro here. If I can grab the window. Oh my gosh. There we go. If I can grab a macro, it's just cast 1, cast 2, cast 3, cast 4, cast 5, right? Whatever is available, cast it. I don't care. Like, that's kind of like how the mentality is for that. So kind of go through that. So this will stun something up to 88, stun something up to 88, the twin cast healing, and then another, no, it's the same twin cast healing. That's the buff you get, and there's this one, right? And then this will stun and do a little bit of damage. So if we just like, I'm gonna hit 4 here. I got my AAs tied to the key too, but you can see here, like, number 1's gone, number 2's gone, number 3, and then number 1, right? And then 4. So it kind of just cycles through. What I'm also doing here is I'm multi-binding. So when I hit 4, it hits every button that's 4 gets hit, right? So you see here I have Divine Stun, which is an AA stun that we get. This one will stun up to level 90, you know, and move them back. It's kind of annoying, the move back, but it's not too bad. And then here we got Force Disruption. It's another one. Increases the hatred 5,000, interrupts their spell casting, and you know, it's pretty quick. It's a 9-second recast. Then we have Beacon of the Righteous. So actively it consumes all targets within 8. Up to 8 targets within a 30-foot radius in a beacon of light, stunning level 90 or lower opponents for 3 seconds and increasing their hatred. So this is like an AOE taunt, but I just do it all at the same time. I don't care. It's situational, right? But I just don't care at this point, right? When I get to 120, maybe we'll think about it. But right now, like, almost all my pulls have multiple mobs. So I want them all attacking me. I don't want them attacking my enchanter or my druid, right? Disruptive Persecution here, activated, consumes 3,100, or no, consumes mana to deal 3,100 damage and increase their hatred. So it's just another, it's a stuns in the casting, but it's not like a stun. It's just stops them from casting, but it, you know, it does damage and deals hatred to me, so it gives me more hatred. I have Heroic Leap here. Now, okay, I guess at this rank we got it gives us 8 opponents. So every time I Heroic Leap, so my Heroic Leap, right? When I land within 40 feet of that land, you can kind of see that guy over there got it. They will be consumed in hatred, so in 1,200 points of hatred to me. So it's like an AOE taunt with a kind of a cool effect. So it is what it is. And then I got Ageless Enmity, which is another taunt. 500 points of hate higher than the previous most hated target. So just another one. I don't even care at this point in the game at 85. If you're playing on a real server that's not like a live server where the level cap's 125 or something like that, and you're, you know, trying to do raids and stuff, some of this stuff might change a little bit, you know, but right, I'm going for, I don't want anybody in my group to take aggro but me. That's my goal. And in a raid situation, that's completely different because warriors are probably going to be taking that. And then Howled Lodestar, 8 targets in a 40-foot radius, stunning them with 85 or lower, increase the hatred by 1,000 to 6, and then 1650 by every 6 seconds for that. So this is just like a crazy AOE taunt. It should get everything on you, and it's a, you know, 5-minute reuse. So I just use them on cooldown, and I just hit my stuns here, right? Just like this, swing my sword, hit a stun, right? Because my job is not to do damage, though paladins do significant damage to undead. Shadow Knights and warriors do significantly more damage than a paladin. Paladin is the lowest DPS tank against non-undead, so kind of that. Something to keep in mind. All right, so that's kind of like how I do my stuns, right? And then after that I have heals. I have 4 heals here. Wave of Remnant, Aura of Dawnlight, Burst of Dawnlight, and this last one is more of a cure with a mini heal. Like I have it on a different button here, but it's a targetable, so it's like I have to target where I want it, and it splashes, but notice how it even hits the target dummy over there. So it's got a pretty good range on that. But so the wave is an AOE group heal, so it hits everybody in the group with 2,300 points of healing, and it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty nice, right? Like, no, it's not it, it's this one. It's a little long of a cast, right? 2 seconds, but early on it was kind of a taunt. Like I could get aggro if I healed, but it's not really that anymore. Aura of Dawnlight, so channels the power of sunlight, consuming 1400 mana to heal your group, right? So it doesn't really say like how much it heals, but and it's a 2 second cast, right? But it heals everything. Can't see the healing here because of you know, the way I have my filters, and I need to actually take damage and stuff like that. And then a burst of Dawnlight here channels the power of sunlight, healing your target for 35 points of healing. If I have him targeted and he has a target, so right now the combat dummy doesn't have a target, and combat dummy does not fight back, so they they never target, right? You can get riposted, but you won't get targeted, so it will heal that target. So if I'm tanking him and I cast that, it'll heal me because I'm the target, right? Or it'll heal whoever took aggro, right? So, and I just have all my heals like 6, 7, and 8 right here on the same button. So I just hit 6 and it'll cast whatever one's available. There, like you can kind of see there's a recast time on the group heal, 15 seconds. The other two, not so much. So I can kind of spam them as much as I need to. So it is what it is. And then the splash, let's clear those. The splash here, you know, freeform spell, cure most effects, and performs a small heal, right? So just drop it down. Everybody in the range gets a heal and a cure. So it's pretty useful. It's probably like the #1 reason why Paladins are really useful on raids. And then Mark of the Pious. So I either pull with Charge of Honor, right? I pull like that, and I just get him, right? I hit Alt-1 to just cast it, or I hit Numpad 1, and I do Mark of the Pious. So Mark of the Pious is a pretty cool spell. It's a spell line for Paladins, right? So places a Mark of the Pious on the target, dealing 31 damage each time the target strikes another creature. So this is a damage shield, right? So he's taking 31 points of damage when he hits somebody. And then when the allies hit him, they get 18 points of healing. So it's a pretty nice little spell. So I should get healed, like every time I swing, right? I should get healed for how much ever that is, right? It's hard to find that data in here since I have my stuff all hidden and whatnot, but it's pretty nice. And then down here I have Steely Stance, which is a short-term HP buff for Paladins. Shadow Knights get the same one, and then over like on the Druids get Wild Growth, which is the same concept, which is mostly for priests to be able to do that to a warrior, because Paladins and Shadow Knights get this spell line here. It also has its own focus line in the AAs to make it last longer. But it's a short-term duration buff, right? I cast it. I'm probably buff capped right now. Yeah, or I already have it on. I'm buff capped, but it will increase my hit points by 4,400, and it will slowly decay, but see how fast cast it is, right? 1.5 seconds. So if I'm in a situation where I'm getting hit really hard, I could pop that, and I get a short-term duration. I get a little bit more hit points to give the healers a little bit better chance of healing me. And then the final one I have memorized right now is Blessed Aura. This is a level 70 spell, and it's the aura, right? Like it increases the amount of healing I get, right? So it's like a percentage. I don't even know the number, but I feel like it's still worth casting. So it kind of helps out my mercenary, which is a healer mercenary, to heal me that little bit more. Helps out my self healing just a little bit more. You know, like everything adds up in Everquest, right? You take a little bit here, take a little bit there, it adds up to something, you know, really good. So it's just worth casting. I don't cast like the auras on the Druid anymore. It was like 20 points of regen for hers. I still cast the Enchanter one because it gives a little bit of experience, but for the most part, like this is like the last one I'm going to cast. Now, at the same time, Paladins also get some buffs here, right? They have an ageism line, kind of like the cleric, so just like AC, HP, and more HP all in one. And then they get the same kind of buffs as a cleric. They also get a shielding line. I'll cover that here in a second. And then the temporary is that one. But one of the big buffs that only paladins get is the Brel's line here. So surrounds your group with a shield of the underfoot, increasing their hit points, right? I think I already have one on, but it's, you know, the paladin special line of buffs. And they get the first one. Let's double check that before I say it. It's not 49. I think the first one is like 60 in either Velius, because they get these ones here. There's red ones. They get those first, but I think Lachlan or Velius, they get Mountainous Barrier. So it's pretty early in the game, but not at Classic, not at Kunark. Maybe in Velius they get Divine Vigor and Glory, and maybe Favor and Strength. Maybe these are all Velius spells. I just can't remember. This character flew by it so fast, I don't even remember, and I didn't have it on Holdridge on Oakwind during Classic either. So let's see here. So now I said he gets a shielding line, but we also get an AA right here that gives us all our self buffs in one clicky at 70. So we get Devout Fury, which is another buff. Armor. Come on, there we go. Armor of Unwavering Faith. And Remorse of the Fallen and Silent Piety. So these are the self buffs that paladins get that I don't memorize anymore. I just use the AA to do them. So Remorse of the Fallen gives you the Remorse of the Fallen effect. So which gives us, let's see here, increases the potency of healing spells. So very nice. Makes us heal better. Right, and I don't know what the other one was. Silent Piety. There we go. Silent Piety cloaks us with an aura. This sometimes turns away detrimental effects. So kind of like a spell reflect without the reflection, right? It just absorbs, you know, a spell that's being cast on us. Devout Fury bestows divine might upon you, providing you a chance to channel the will of the gods. So this is a like a proc, if you will, that will just do damage. I don't believe it's too much. I think the last one I saw, this one did 18. So there we go. It was a critical too. So it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it just, whatever it does, it adds up. I think it's like 100 actually. I think this dummy is really resistant. I mean, we could probably just like let him swing on it for a few seconds and see. And then Armor of Unwavering Faith, which gives us a shielding level. So like pure casters get shielding, clerics get the Armor of the Risen line, and this is the same thing, but paladins get it. Increases our hit points, increases our armor class, increases our mana regen. Very important there for a long period of time. So like I currently have 309 armor regen. My current gear is just like absolute trash, so I wouldn't even think about it. But all the R self buffs are inside that one click AA. So that's all I use. I don't bother doing anything. The auras are the only thing, and they should be permanent, honestly, instead of being what they are. Oh, here we go. So 1700 for the Divine Fury, and then 800 for the Divine Fury there. So it's a little bit of damage, not a whole lot, considering I'm hitting normal hits for 1900. So it's like an extra hit, if you will, when it procs. So there we go. Now let's kind of go over some of the AAs that are kind of important for Paladin. Now, if you're heroic or you're not gold and you're looking, you know, for that kind of what should I spend my points on kind of thing, I'll kind of go over what's important here, right? So at 85, combat stability, combat agility, these are like your most important, honestly. These will increase your durability, right? Same with general sturdiness and natural durability. Like those are very important to tanking. Adamant will, and not so much. Armor of Wisdom is really nice, actually. It gives you just pure armor class. Like my gear is terrible, and I've got 1100 armor class right now. So it's very important there. You're probably going to want... which one is it? One of these gives you more buff slots. That's the one you want. Mystical Attuning right here. More buff slots. Because I'm buff capped right now. I can't put more buffs. I can't do self buffs. I can't do anything. And that's kind of, unfortunate, right? I still have like a lesson of the Devout on from when I did Gribbles. But, just tanky AAs are really useful. General sturdiness is useful. And then you come in here to the archetype. Now, if you're, live and you're getting gold, you're going to get all these things for free from the auto grant. But if you're on TLPs or something like that, some of these, you're going to want to pick and choose your battles, right? Like Combat Fury you want, because Combat Fury unlocks Slay Undead, right? Combat Fury 3, and you need to get Slay Undead. At I think it's level 59 is when that unlocks, and that is just like the best ability. That is the class defining ability, if you will, for a paladin. Let's see here, like double riposte, things like these are really nice to have. The improved healing stuff is really nice. Improved bash is mandatory because it lets you bash with a two-hander. Knight's sedulity, like this is really good because it increases our the less amount of melee damage by 4%. That comes in at underfoot. Increased paralysis. Don't think you actually. This is free. You get this as you level up. So like on TOPs, you start getting this. I think like level 10 or 30 or something like that, and it just increases your damage overall. On top of everything else, mental clarity is important because you want mana regen. Physical enhancement right here. This is this lets you go over the soft cap, right? So the more armor you have, like if you have really good gear, this just makes it really even better, right? So if you have not so good gear and you're not at this armor soft cap, like I don't know what it is right now for me, but I'm literally wearing level 60 gear, so that's how easy some of this is, right? Radiant Cure, I like this. I cast it on whenever I get stuff. If Splash, Radiant Cure, Purification, all those things are really good. And then Blessing Purification is a group one. It's probably a mandatory raid one, honestly. Instantly cures your group for up to 20 effects, right? Excluding Charm, Resurrection, Sickness, Fear. So this is just like, this is awesome. Like the next version's even better. It's the same as the single target, right? This one just clears me of all my debuffs, right? Like I've been doing the Gribbles a lot, and inside there's these Necromancers that cast Snare, like multiple dots, and like I'm just got covered in debuffs. I click that, they're all gone, I'm back in the battle, right? No downtime, no hesitation, just get it done, right? So very important. There's a lot of other ones like Leap of Faith will just jump me forward. It's fine. Leap of Faith is nice if you're solo. Every class gets one of these teleport things, but if you're boxing like I do, it's just annoying because your characters go off in all different directions. Quick damage, quick buffs, spellcasting reinforcement, spellcasting mastery. These are like mandatory things to pick up and stuff like that. Let's see here. Melee, push you back. Yeah, it's good to have. Twin heal, twin strike. Those are all good. We don't have them yet. All right, Class AAs. So Paladin gets a lot. First one here, like Act of Valor. So I could kill myself to heal somebody. Not so good, especially in a boxing situation, right? If my enchanter dies or my druid dies, I don't care as much. In a raid situation, that's going to be useful. Armor, let's see here. This one increases our effectiveness of incoming heals by 40%. Significantly good spell, and I think I have that in my burn button right there. Beacon, we have that in our stuns. Bestow Divine Aura, we can make somebody else invulnerable for a little bit. Kind of useful. Certain situations. If I wasn't lazy, I'd probably do it on like my enchanter when she's about to die, but I always mess that up because I'm not really paying too close attention to a lot of that stuff. Blessing of Life, these are passives that help healing. Like melee attacks give us Blessing of Life. It's kind of like the Shadow Knight ability that's a life tap kind of passive. So it's 600 points of health, not a whole lot. So it's just like what are we at here? We're at 68,000 HP, fully buffed. Like we have buffs from like I think level 120 at this point. So we have like all the buffs you can possibly imagine, but you know, 600 is not that a lot, but it is better than nothing. Kind of adds up with all the other stuff, and I think it crits, so you can crit that for like what 2k maybe, I don't know. Blessing of Light, Divine Might spell line. So this increases the Devout Fury proc rate. The Blessing of Purification and Purification, those are these cures. Like Blessing does the group. No, Blessing of Purification does the target. There's a group one too, I believe. But it, you know, cures everything, and then this one, Purification is self only. Blessing of the Faithful grants your killing blows against non-trivial enemies 25% should give you Blessing. So on kills you get to a 25% extra damage. So it's hard to, like, I don't like these kind of spells because it's hard to get that kill shot on some of these things. So what else is important here? Divine Aura just makes this invulnerable. Divine Call activates your target's hatreds for you. Do I know? Oh, there's one oh, we don't have it yet. That's why. It's like, wow, that'd be a nice one to put here in these last two slots, but we don't have it yet. Divine Stun, just another stun. To stun, Gift of Life, heals all enemies in the, or everybody in the 400-foot range for 27,000, and then 14,000 every second. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there next to Piety. Blessing, or Hand of Piety. Did I skip over? No, I haven't gotten there yet. Gift of Resurrection. This is just a AA res. It's 90%. At level 90, we get one that does 96%. So we can pretty much res like a cleric at level 90. Clerics do get 100% res though. So group armor. So this just is a group version of that other spell that increases the healing and armor class. But I don't have that one yet. Hollowed Lodestar, another AOE Taunt. Halt of the Dead, this is a snare for undead. Hand of Piety, group lay of hands. Like everybody in a 100-foot radius gets 11,000 point heal. Pretty nice. And reuse is only 20 minutes, so I kind of use it. I use it a lot. Like if I notice one of my boxes is taking more damage, I usually just hit it just to kind of help them out, so I don't have to like change target or anything like that. Now that I have this Gift of Life, I just noticed I'll put that one there too. Hand of Tunar, this one allows you to twin cast heals. We don't have it yet, but twin casting means it casts twice, right? So you heal for 1,000, it heals for 2,000 kind of things, right? Healing Light, 20% chance to bless all members with Healing Light, which heals for 800. So just, that's our stun ability. So every time we stun, we have a 20% chance to bless everybody with healing. So all this adds up, right? Heroic Leap. This is the AOE stun that just jumps us to the target, right? So if we Heroic Leap, jumps right over here, right? Pretty nice. Great for positioning. Like if like I'm rooted or something, I think it'll still let me jump. Improves stuns, you know, just improves our stuns. Judgment here, I believe this is on my burn, right? Yeah. Increases our melee chance to hit. Increases our hatred. And let's see here, 2,800 damage, so it does a lot. It also reduces your hatred, so it's kind of, I don't know, gotta be careful with that. And then Lay Hands here, this does 78,000 hit points, and 19,000 over time. So if I'm at like, you know, below 20%, I'm gonna probably pop lay hands just because I could probably get one shot in the 20% range at this point. And so I'm gonna pop lay hands, and the way lay hands works is like I'm targeting him, and if that's my target, it's gonna heal me, right? If my target's not somebody else, it's like, you know, if you're an unfriendly target, it'll heal their target. So like in a situation you're in a raid, right? The warrior's about to die, you hit lay hands, but you're targeting the raid boss, it's gonna heal the warrior. So it's, you know, pretty nice in that effect. Mars Gift, we don't have that one yet. Mars Salvation, this is a pretty nice one because I have it blocked on me, but what it does is it lowers the amount of hatred everybody else makes and generates by 12%. Goes up to 13% next rank, but fantastic spell for lowering the aggro, especially on these mercenaries and the mercenary healer. Gives me that little bit extra that I can try to get aggro on something. Purification, this just cures everything on you pretty much, and it's self only. Shackles a Tunar, this is a root, it's like 75 mana root for 1 minute, so it's pretty nice. We don't have that one yet. Slay Undead, this is the like almost class defining ability for a paladin, right? You think paladin, you think Slay Undead. So with 3.9% chance to deal 2300% damage against undead and vampires. Now, I'm slaying for like 30,000 right now with whatever weapon I got. I got terrible 1.8 ratio, 54 damage, level 70 weapon. So kind of keep that in mind, right? Speed of the Savior, we don't have that one yet. Spire. This is a kind of like a all-around damage increase. I believe it's in my burn, right? Spire right there. So this just increases our melee avoidance, our chance to parry, or armor class. Minimum damage, blesses everybody with Apex, which gives everybody 30% extra healing on all the spells. Increases hit points, increases strength. It just does all kinds of junk. And it just, you know, a lot of stuff going on there. So everybody gets a spire of that. So it's just, you know, one of the burns, right? Thunder of Kunar, we don't have. Valorous Rage, don't have. Don't have Vanquish of the Fallen. Look how much, 89,000 damage on a single AA thing, so that's pretty nice, but that's for undead only. And then Weapon Mastery of the Night, it just increases our damage for stuff, so whatnot. And then I did gloss over one of these right here, Weapon Stances. So each weapon, like two-hand or sword and shield, right, they have different effects, and you can kind of see the icon right here. Like I'm using a two-hander, so I increases my damage with two-handers by 110%, but it reduces my chance to dodge and parry by 60% and suppresses combat stability. Now, suppresses combat stability. Let's click on combat stability right here. The armor soft caps the amount of effectiveness against armor class. So it's just like, this lets our armor go above the armor, you know, the armor cap, right? So we're losing a lot of armor by going two-hand. I don't have any other weapons, so I can't show what the difference is, but it's pretty significant. So something to keep in mind, right? And then if you use a sword and shield, where'd that go? That's right here. Use a sword and shield, you get higher chance to block by 10%. More procs, and more mitigation. So you're even tankier when you're using a sword and shield. I'm going with a two-hander because I haven't had a problem yet. Nothing's killing me except maybe bosses, and I'm a little bit overly cautious when I'm fighting a boss right now. So and then focus, we don't have a whole lot of focus at this level, but as you can see, they're all pretty much zero except for a few of them. So we just got these. So Haste and Holy Forge. Holy Forge is a discipline, Like, we don't get a lot of disciplines. We got them all right here. Holy Forge is a kind of like a slay undead on demand for 5 minutes. Like, it's, you'll do a lot of damage with that kind of thing, right? Hastened, wait, we don't have that one yet. Enduring retrieval. So this one makes our withstand ability. I kind of glossed over that, but withstand applies withstanding blow, which absorbs the damage from the next 2 melee attacks that will strike you. But click this, so the next 2 melee strikes, reducing done by 85%, or until 800 damage has been absorbed. So it goes pretty quick, but it lowers the amount of damage we take, so it just makes it a little bit better. And then extended steely stance. This is for this HP buff, right? Just makes it last longer, which is great. Chains of Purity is just makes roots better. That's too long, didn't read there. And then Hasten Deflection Discipline. Deflection is a level 59 discipline, just allows you to block more attacks with your shield. So if you have that, it just makes it or you can reuse it faster. So the duration's 12 seconds, but has a 40-minute reuse, right? So that's pretty intense. And while we're talking about disciplines here, so we can kind of go into this one here, right? So Honorific Mantle covers your body and armor, absorbing 25% of incoming melee damage for 1 minute. The armor will dissipate when it's absorbed to 260,000. So this is kind of like defensive, the warriors get. So this just, you know, makes us tankier for a little bit. I pop this whenever I pull a named, or I have, you know, like 4 mobs in camp. I'm severely undergeared, as I've mentioned several times. Right? I'm 85. I'm using level 5 gear. I'm using level 60 breastplate. We went and killed the statue of Ralo Zeke, and I'm still using that. Right? I have some, you know, Defiant stuff. I have a few pieces of, I think 2 pieces of this. No, I have 1 piece of House of Thule armor right now. And everything, like a Necklace of Superiority. Like, this is not great gear. So this just makes it a little bit, you know, tankier for that time when we're fighting the whatever they're called, named. So there's a few other disciplines here. I just really don't use them, like turning aside detrimental spells. Not really need it. And these are all pretty much been replaced except for withstand. You can see the timers right here. Like, they're all type 5s. So can't use 2 timer ones at the same time. It'll reset them all. So and this is, so there's like the underfoot version and then the Seeds of Destruction version, I believe, for these. You just want to use the better one, which is Honorific Mantle at this one, but at the one right before this at the same level. So it's, these are both 83. This one only does 25,000. This one does 260,000. So make sure you're using the right one. Same everything, but it's just because they increase the amount of damage that things do significantly. Let's see here, that's the same one. And then we have Fearless and Resistance. You get these on TLPs. Like, Fearless is great for when you're fighting mobs that fear. But at where I think there's an archetype one that makes us just immune to fear. It's like Courageous or something like that. And we're just like straight up immune to fear as a paladin, which makes paladins and Shadow Knights better for tanking those kind of things, right? Here we go. Fear Resistance grants us immunity to most fear. So we can go fight a dragon. It's not going to fear us. Warriors get an AA ability to give that kind of immunity to the group, but I don't believe Paladins or Shadow Knights get that. And then Resistance gives you a little bit more resistance, but as you can see, we are, if we look at stats here, we're like almost capped. If we were actually had buffs for Resistance, we'd probably be Resistance buffed. If we had a Bard, we'd be Resistance buffed, whatnot. But you can kind of see here that it's kind of where we're at. And let's see here. What else do I want to cover? Yeah, so I guess heroic stats, right? That's a pretty good question. I'm going to focus on heroic dexterity for this character. If you're raiding, you might want to do stamina. But I think from the best research I've seen is heroic dexterity is the best for tanks and melee, honestly, in the group setting. I don't really plan on raiding with this character. That's just not something that's probably ever going to happen. But I am going to, be doing group stuff with my character. So heroic dexterity is going to be where I focus, trying to get more of. Getting, more avoidance and all these other things is going to be important as it goes through. But heroic dexterity and then maybe heroic stamina, probably the best way to go. Strength would give us more damage, but we're Paladin. We're not doing damage, right? So... and just make sure you have the highest haste you can get, along with everything else. I don't see much else here we can do. But rotation-wise, this is what I do. I go up to a mob, I hit Q, which turns on auto attack. I hit, 2 for my spam button, which is turn attack on, cast 1. So we got, a charge of honor on. I hit withstand typically, so that's my 3. And then I go into my stuns, and then I just hit stuns like I'm hitting 4. Now the thing is with 4, right, is the way I have my boxing set up. When I hit 4, my enchanter does stuff, and my druid does stuff, right? That makes them do damage. So that's kind of how that works. And when I want them to, do something else, I stop pushing the button, and then I go into, hit whatever button I need. So just like that. And then if I need to heal, I go into 6, whatever. Like that one spell doesn't work because this guy doesn't have a target. It's just kind of annoying, but it's just how it is. And then if I need to cure, I can drop a splash right there. Doesn't even matter where I target it. It's just good. And then I can just keep going here and spamming 4 over and over again, just keeping it stunned until the mob dies is pretty much my goal. And if I'm fighting a boss, I'll do Steely Stance or something like that. If I have buff slots, right? Like right now, I'm completely full. But I already have Steely Stance on, so it doesn't really matter. And then just go through and do everything like that. That's pretty much all I do. And mobs just melt. Now, the reason mobs melt is because I have a 2 melee mercenaries from the enchanter and the druid that I group with constantly. If I was solo, I would probably never do anything but undead and focus 100% on undead, because I do have a cleric mercenary, and it's probably worth talking about how I do that, right? I go straight for healing acumen, right? That's the very first thing I go for. Increases the mercenaries' healing duration spells by 1%, 2%, all the way up to I think 21%. So. Like that's where all my points are going immediately, right? So it's spell resistance to 5 and then healing until I can't do anything else in healing, right? So that's kind of how that goes for all that. And then after that, I'll probably go into, I'll probably get her health maxed out and then her mana. Because like mercenaries don't really run out of mana. Like it's just, I don't know how. It's just the way they are. They're overpowered. Especially since they changed them to be, they're all, Journeyman 5. You can kind of see her stats here. Like, she's really, she's got more hit points than me. She's got more armor than me. She's got more mana than me. Like, it's crazy, right? So, but I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else I'm missing here. My macros I showed, like, here's my heals, just simple casts. Whatever one's available, cast it kind of thing. And all my hotbars are multi-bound to that same button, right? And this is just a hotkey for withstand, right? Straight from the combat skills window. I have hide corpse and hide inventory or auto inventory. So, because I'm always getting where I stand AFK, if I'm not in my guild hall, I end up with like 10 mod rods on my hand. So I gotta click those. And then these are just blank ones to remind me that that's what those do. Enchantress slow on them too, stuff like that. mezzes and stuff like that. And I'll go over what these actually do on those characters when I do them. But for the most part, it's pretty simple. Pretty standard little setup here, but there we go. So that is the 85 Paladin. Works for both heroic and normal. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.